Okay, so last month, in December 17th, 2025, the Thornton Creek Alliance, or TCA, invited Jennifer Godfrey to come speak at a webinar or meeting that they were having about the Orca appeal to the Comp Plan EIS. So I am going to make a series of short-ish reaction videos to different parts of that webinar. And I watched the whole thing so you guys wouldn't have to. And I just picked out, my favorite clips. And so this is the first one. And I will keep releasing more videos with the next ones in following days or times. All right, so let's get started.
And somebody did ask her a question about this at the Birds Connect Climate Forum. Something about, how does she feel about the role of urban trees and stormwater pollution on endangered species? And her answer was, unfortunately, that the only way to really help them is to build as much as possible and be more aggressive with building in Seattle, because that will make this idea that if we just build as much as possible, the cars will just go away tomorrow. And then 6 ppdq is the only problem when we know it's not the only problem. There's a lot of other issues. And I personally haven't seen a roadmap that shows that there will be all the cars will actually go away if the builders just build however they would like.
Y'all, this one is a doozy, and that's why I started with it. So where to start? There's so much to say about this. So first of all, you can see that they love cars. They really love cars, okay? That's the number one thing to take away here. But here's the thing. Like, cars can go away overnight. Like, it doesn't take that long to build a bike lane. It doesn't take that long to make a sidewalk, especially those quick build ones. Like, I personally have places that I am literally waiting for just a few blocks of bike lane to be done, and I can literally not have to use my car. I do have a car, so I usually go like 3 places with my car. So there's this one doctor's office it takes like an hour and 15 minutes to get to it by bus, and then it's like a 15-minute drive. So that one I do drive to. Costco I drive to, although I have taken transit with my hand cart to go to Costco as well. And then my parents' house, which is, in the suburbs of Renton or Kent. So that one I drive to. But literally the moment that this bike lane opens that I'm waiting for right now, that's under construction this month, like as we speak, I literally don't have to use my car anymore to go to the Costco and the doctor that I need to go to. So, like, you can absolutely evaporate cars overnight. And maybe it's not exactly that somebody completely sells their car, gets rid of their car, but they're evaporating their car trips, okay? And eventually the evaporation of car trips leads to people getting rid of their cars. Like, it's actually such an easy thing, to be honest. And all you have to do is advocate for transit, for bike lanes, for sidewalks, instead of wasting your time appealing this already extremely watered down comp plan, okay? That's one side of the equation, right? Like, yes, you can literally build sidewalks, bus lanes, you can have a new bus stop, you can have a new bus. Like, all of these can happen so quick, so quick. But the other thing that can happen is that you can build more housing along places that already have bikeability, walkability, and transit. So I, for example, dream of, being able to live near the Burke-Gilman Trail. And if there was like a nice stacked flat or condo that I could afford near the Burke, I would literally bike everywhere. Like 100% of the time, pretty much, I would bike. Like, them just being like, you just can't get rid of cars. They're not going to just go away tomorrow. They absolutely could just go away tomorrow. The other thing to point out here is that you can immediately see that these people are very much not into reducing or solving the source or cause of any problems or making things better. They're absolutely all about, let's just keep things exactly how they are. They can't imagine a better world. And they also think that if something can't be fixed by literally tomorrow, then we shouldn't do it at all. They think of everything in black and white. They're just like, oh, well, you can't get rid of all cars, so we should literally do nothing, I guess. I really just think that every single person helped to not have a car matters. I just think it's so disgusting that they were literally laughing at the idea of reducing car dependency. Like, not only is that just so freaking ridiculous from an environmental standpoint, but that is so rude and inconsiderate and ableist to those who can't drive. And it's also really actually extremely anti-poor because like I can't tell you the number of people that I've met at bus stops or wherever and I'm talking to them and they are like, "Oh yeah, I used to have a car, but it got totaled for one reason or another." They'll say that they never got another car after their car got totaled or messed up or whatever because they can't afford it. Like literally cars are so expensive now, not just to maintain and to buy gas, but also to just purchase or to pay your lease every month. And these people are so delusional and disconnected from reality and the everyday lives of real people, working people, and poor people to understand that. And instead, they laugh at the idea of not having a car or reducing the number of cars. Like, that is just wild, you guys. Most recently, I had a guy tell me about driving down the freeway and some young teenager was speeding a bunch and crashed into him, flipped his car. His car got totaled. And then the girlfriend got killed. Like the girlfriend that was riding with the teenager got killed. And then the teenager himself is like in jail for the rest of his life or something now. Like these are the kinds of freaking stories that you just hear all the time. Like cars literally ruin lives. And to laugh, to scoff at the idea that we could reduce our car dependency or that we could reduce the number of cars in the city, like that is just downright evil, to be honest. So the next thing I was gonna point out, now we've kind of moved on from the car thing, is they were like criticizing the way developers want to build. But the fact is, all of the things that you're pushing for and pushing against is what is forcing the developers to build in a bad way. Developers are begging to build better housing. They want to build more densely and higher, and they want it to be easier to do so. They want to legalize different types of stairs that make it easier and cheaper and make the housing better. They want to have more elevators. All of these things they're trying to do, and it helps make the projects pencil. But you guys, like TCA and Jennifer Godfrey and all of you, NIMBYs are the ones that are trying to make it so that our housing types are all worse. And that's how we got stuck with these townhouses everywhere and stuff and too much parking in the first place. Again, developers are begging you to let them build higher so that their projects can pencil, let them build better, let them build greener. The last thing I wanted to address is that they said that urbanists only care about 6 ppdq or think that that's the only problem, which is just so funny to me. 6 ppdq is actually that important though, because even if you solve all the other problems, like for example, habitat destruction along rivers and waterfronts and climate change, so the water is not getting too hot anymore, you would still be killing a lot of salmon because of 6 ppdq amounts. So fixing those other things, but still having 6 ppdq still means you got a lot of dead salmon that died before they were able to spawn. But to be fair, I do get what they're talking about because a lot of urbanists do just keep saying that, you know, the only thing that matters is building denser housing and that building denser housing reduces the total amount of stormwater runoff and 6 ppdq and car tire dust in the water because you're saving more green space in the suburbs and the exurbs. So all of that is true, but it's sort of an incomplete picture, right? It's like, yes, we absolutely have to build more densely, but we also have to completely remake and rethink our cities with ecology in mind. Building more densely is a huge part of that, but there are other really huge parts too that, for example, urbanists like this person quoted in this article don't mention. And it's hard because it's not a simple message. Like a lot of times urbanists who, like this person that got quoted in this article, just want to make it so simple and just want like the sound bites. But to understand the full picture and like what really matters, you can't really do that with just a soundbite. And I do honestly sometimes feel really frustrated by that because these people like the person, quoted in this article, have huge platforms and a lot of sway, and, they get quoted in the Urbanist and stuff all the time, and they go on podcasts or whatever. And like, I really don't want that for myself. Like, I don't like being perceived. I don't ever want more than, like 100 views on a video or like 1,000 followers. But I want the ideas to get out there and the right explanations and the right science to get out there. And I really wish that people like the people quoted in this article would do a better job learning from people like me. I think that when we make the message too simple on the urbanist side, it really just opens the door to them, like the NIMBY side, not taking any of it seriously because it doesn't really have the full correctness that it needs. So I'll just take this chance now to quickly tell you guys like what is really causing orca population declines, which are vessel noise and disturbance, contamination and water pollution, and then prey availability. So with vessel traffic noise and disturbance, we really need to have slow zones and decrease as much vessel traffic as we can, and other mitigating measures like that. As for the contamination and the pollution in the water, the biggest issues for orcas, because they're top predators, are things like PCBs, lead, and mercury, things that bioaccumulate and get more concentrated as you go up the food chain. I think a lot of you know this, but the lower Duwamish River is a big Superfund site, and that's because it is super, super contaminated with PCBs. And these PCBs are from Boeing. So let me pull up my stats real quick. So during World War II, Boeing cranked out nearly 7,000 B-17 bombers, and the persistent carcinogenic PCBs were used to make those bombers, and it was used in things like paint, caulk, and electrical equipment. That is a huge part of the reason why there's so many PCBs in the Duwamish washing out to Puget Sound. And there are continued PCBs being leached from a current Boeing plant in Tukwila. So really, these NIMBYs should be probably focusing their efforts more on reducing flights and the need to fly, as well as trying to end the military-industrial complex instead of trying to prevent people from having homes. Oh yeah, and they should definitely be trying to prevent rich people from having too many yachts. Then, as for the prey availability thing, so this is kind of nuanced because we really do need our salmon runs to be doing better across the Puget Sound and the state in order to help the southern residents. But the thing is, Seattle doesn't exactly have a lot of rivers that would really amount to anything much compared to the salmon, especially the king salmon that the southern residents favor coming out of the Columbia and Snake Rivers. Basically, there are orders of magnitude more salmon, especially king salmon, coming from the Columbia and Snake Rivers than would come out of Seattle. So if we really want to help with the prey availability issue, we should really be focusing on breaching the 4 lower Snake River dams, which ask any like whale scientist, salmon scientist in the area, and that's what they'll tell you. So I highly encourage you guys to check out columbiasnakeriver.com and go and do all of the actions that they are asking for so that we can see these 4 lower Snake River dams breached in our lifetime. And so that we can save the Columbia and Snake River salmon so that they can in turn save those southern resident orcas. I mean, just look at all of these awesome organizations that are telling us that we absolutely have to breach these 4 dams. All right, that finally concludes my commentary on this first clip. I swear that this is going to be the longest one.